Sydney's best breakfast.
2GB.
Chris Minns is set for a reality check this morning. A number of regional mayors are preparing to sit down with the New South Wales Premier to talk about the crime crisis in the bush. They will demand that he takes more action to address the issue that's been gripping their towns for the past few years. The Premier claims he's toughened up the laws, but people living in the bush say they don't go hard enough. And from the stories we've been hearing, it looks like crime has got even worse in recent months. And there was an opportunity for these laws to be beefed up last month. Labor voted against the bail reforms put forward by the National Party. Some of the suggested solutions included revoking bail if there's a breach of bail that continues or if another charge is laid while on bail, expanding the definition of repeat offences beyond serious break and enter and motor vehicle theft to include all serious offences, and introducing electronic monitoring and a mandatory curfew as conditions of bail. Labor voted against these ideas. Dugald Saunders is the New South Wales National Party leader and he joins us on the line. Dugald, good morning to you.
Hey, Ben, good to talk to you.
What do you reckon the message is going to be from these regional mayors to the Premier today?
Well, I think it'll be a fairly stern message, but look, I know the Premier will sit there and listen and engage and hear what they're saying, but at the end of the day, it's very unlikely anything will change again because it hasn't for 2 years. And you just rightly pointed out that last month we had an opportunity, a bipartisan way forward, to work with the government on a couple of little tweaks that would make a difference because, we know that what's currently happening is not working. There's been a focus on Moree, apparently. Well, nothing's changed at Moree. We all know that. So I'm hoping the Premier will actually hear. He will listen, but he will actually hear what's being said because after voting down this bill, it is all the responsibility of Labor to make a change. But what we seem to be getting is the same scenario. So you've got the same kids, they're committing the same crimes, they're being dealt with under the same failing bail laws, so you're only ever going to get the same result.
Dugald, they've now got to the point where people are writing to us saying, look, the moment the sun goes down, before the sun goes down, we lock our doors, we lock our windows, we lock everything, and we don't open things up until the sun comes up the next day.
Yeah, literally people barricading themselves inside their homes, literally. And some of them not wanting to turn on air conditioners because it makes a bit of noise and they want to hear any noise that's outside. It's scary, it's ridiculous, it's not the way we should be living in Australia in 2025. And when you've got people that are literally in a revolving door, something has to change. These young people know what they're getting away with. In fact, I heard an interesting story of a 16-year-old up on the North Coast who himself said to his solicitor, I can't believe I'm getting away with this. They know they're getting away with things. They know there should be consequence. And we, as a community, we all want there to be a change to make sure that our community members are feeling safer than they do right now.
Have you got any explanation or response from Chris Minns as to why he didn't support your reforms?
Look, it was pretty obvious all the way through while we were talking about our changes that there was going to be no support from Labor. We thought maybe at the start there would be a way forward to work on things together. At the end of the day, this has become a political scenario, which is a shame because at the end of the day, mate, we want solutions for kids and communities. If you don't work on things together, sometimes you can't quite get there. So, maybe the visit from the mayors today will make a change. I mean, Walgett's a good example, and the Walgett mayor and GM have teamed up and bringing some other mayors to Sydney. But, does it take a plea for help from the mayors to make a change? I mean, Walgett's had, a lifeguard bashed, a woman held up at machete, her car stolen, a van burnt in the main street. This is all in the last week or so. People want to know that there is a way forward, and it doesn't mean you're just locking up kids and throwing away the key. There needs to be pathways, there needs to be programs, but there needs to be consequences as well.
Yeah, Chris Minns is saying that more offenders are being locked up and progress is being made, but the feedback from the bush, you've got to go harder and you've got to do it faster. While we've got you...
And look, the other thing, sorry, just quickly for you, the other thing that the Premier will say is, Boxar stats are showing that regional crime is coming down. I dare the Premier to say that to the Mayor of Walgett or Burke today. I dare him.
While we've got you, we had the Minister for Regional New South Wales, Tara Moriarty, on the program yesterday, saying the New South Wales government is doing everything it can to support regional communities suffering in drought. You're saying that's certainly not the case.
Oh, it's a joke. And look, I listened to the Minister yesterday, and quite frankly, it's embarrassing to suggest that she's doing everything that can be done. You put some questions to her about the funding that's available right now. I can tell you, and this is from inside the department, we've got this information, they're basically being informed or instructed to make it very difficult for farmers to get any loans because there's clearly a budgetary impact here. So as opposed to our Farm Innovation Fund when the coalition was in government, we had $1 billion on offer, which has all now basically been exhausted. There's $250 million now that Labor's got. So a quarter of the funding. It's at least double or more the interest rate. It's half the time frame, as you pointed out yesterday. The minister talked about rolling out $150 million under her watch. That's all the money that was left in the fund when we lost government. So she hasn't put any new money that's made a significant difference. There's only been 49 applications approved in the last 2 years. Compare that to 6,500 applications under us. It's embarrassing. And when you're down there talking to people, and I know you spoke to Lee Parker the other day, one of the mayors, they can't quite believe that this is the best the government can do. They need to actually listen to what people are saying. They need to think about better ways of getting money out the door, not pretend. Yeah, you can keep listening, Minister, but if you're not doing the right thing and only a quarter of loans are ever being approved, as opposed to 80% previously, something is drastically wrong.
We appreciate your time. Thanks so much for joining us, Dugald.
Good on you, Ben. Thanks, mate.
Dugald Saunders, the New South Wales Nationals leader.